Alrighty, YouTube. So we're back on the truck this weekend. It's May long weekend. So I got the truck here at the shop. I got it all rinsed off and stuff. So for working on it later on the year, it'll be a little bit cleaner and easier to work on. Got the engine. It's ready to, well, pretty much ready to get dropped in. I got the pan swapped over to the second gen style. I got new bushings in the second gen style engine mounts there. I gotta bolt those to the block and then pull off the valve cover and get the engine set in there, and then I can put the bell housing and clutch in, and then the transmission. So yeah, I'm just gonna get going on that. That's kind of where we're at. I also got to get a new line made for turbo drain, so I just got everything all capped up. And yeah, that's pretty much it, so follow along. Okay, we got the engine set into place on the frame. It's easy if you easier if you have the rocker cover removed and then the rear number 6 rocker removed in order to get the clearance. The mounts are tightened up with the new bushings. Underneath the truck, so underneath the truck, got the bell plate bolted on the flywheel, and then the dual disc clutch, and it's all centered. So now I'm just getting ready to slide the transmission underneath the truck and get it slid in to the back of the engine there and buttoned up, and then we'll work on, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to trim the hole for the shifter to come through, and if I have to modify the transmission mount. So we'll deal with that as we come to it. Okay, so the transmission is bolted up to the bell plate on the engine. The bolts are all torqued. There's no modifications that needs to be done to the shifter hole in the cab. As far as so a little trick for getting the transmission mount in and out of the truck is to use a porta power to spread the frames, because they're on the second gen Dodges. They are kind of spring loaded in between the frame rails. So right now, so the frame, the transmission mount, I'll get out and show you guys here in a second what I'm doing. So if you go in the cab, the shifter, I got my lights. Go in the cab, the shifter sticks through no problem, so I'll be able to use the factory rubber boot and stuff. So for the transmission mount, so normally the transmission mount would sit with this edge towards the front of the truck. This truck was a NV 4500 or 5-speed transmission truck. In order to fit the 6-speed, because it's about 6 inches longer, I have to mount the cross member in the opposite direction. So these two bolts will line up on the frame, but the top two don't. And this hole, I won't be able to use this hole at all, but I'll be able to use this drill a hole to fit this bolt, to fit a bolt there. So 3 bolts should be more than enough. So I had to drill 2 new mounting holes. So I've drilled this hole here and this hole here, and then to get it so that it was because this part of the plate was the cross member was higher. So what I did was I just heated it up with the torch, and then I took a piece of solid steel square stock, and I just hammered it until it was relatively even with the other mounting hole, so that when the cross member, when the transmission rubber mount is bolted on there, it's relatively even all the way across, instead of putting like a washer or something like that. So yeah, so I just have to let this cool and then get this all loosely into place on the truck and mark my 2 holes into the frame rail right on each side, and then drill those for some bolts. And the transmission is an engine installed in the truck. So yeah, we'll get to that. Alrighty, so it's the next day. I've been working on the truck here. Got a hood just kind of sitting on the truck now to help protect it from elements now. We also got the new hydraulic kit in for the clutch. We got the carpet vacuum cleaned out. I'm gonna replace the carpet because it's pretty stained and you can pick them up pretty cheap. So got the shifter installed. Let's show you. So yeah, the clutch, you just kind of put it, just fits in there, and then you just turn it to change it on these ones. It's not bolted in, so it's pretty easy. Got the mount all situated for the transmission. Where's my creeper? Oh, and I pulled out the exhaust because we're not going to be using that exhaust on the truck. We're going to be making a custom one. So the mount. So I got the mount installed. So I drilled a new hole on each side for this top one. I'm just leaving this one without a bolt. And then you can see how the mount fits up here. And then if you look underneath, so there's just 2 fender washers coming through. Yeah, so it works pretty good. And then the new release cylinder or slave cylinder, and the line is routed. So now it's just putting the starter in place. And yeah, I'm pretty much just about done everything I can do this weekend for parts and installation. I can get rid of these vacuum lines here because I'm not going to be running them, and some brackets on the back. But other than that, pretty much got everything accomplished that I was looking to get accomplished. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.